Okay, which questions do I need to look at on the quiz and help you to understand? Jackson.
7.
Number 7. Everybody turn to number 7. Whether you missed it or not, put all your books away. We're to look at number 7. Okay. You're using this chart to help answer question 7. You have the Treaty of 1844 and the Joint Resolution of 1845. This is Plan 1. This is Plan 2. What is the reason for 2 different plans for Texas to be annexed, okay? So we're looking at why do we have both of these right here, okay? So let's look at our answer choices. According to the Treaty of 1844, Texas would be a territory and Texas wanted to enter as a state. Is that true?
Yes.
But how did Texas vote when it came to the Treaty of 1844? Did they vote for it or against it? They voted in agreement with it. They voted yes. The U.S. voted no. Because Texas was so desperate and in need of protection and to have their debt paid off that they didn't care how they entered, okay? Texas initially rejected the Joint Resolution of 1845 and instead was waiting for Mexico to recognize the independence of Texas.
No.
Is that even true?
No.
That's not even a true statement at all. The United States Congress refused the Treaty of 1844 and then created the Joint Resolution.
Yes.
Did they refuse the treaty? Yes. Did they create the Joint Resolution?
Yes.
Okay, so that looks like it could be our answer. Let's just double check. Texas is going to be able to pick which plan was best for their situation.
No.
That's not even a true statement, so your answer is C. Does that make sense? So did you even really need that chart to help you answer that question?
No.
No, you needed the knowledge in your head, okay? Yes, Allie. Number 6. Why did the annexation of Texas create tension? Okay, well, what does the word tension mean?
Kind of conflict.
So conflicts or problems, right? Who were the conflicts or problems between?
Texas and Mexico.
U.S./Texas versus Mexico, if we're talking countries, right? So let's look. When the U.S. was annexed Texas, there was tension between the North and South because they were worried the balance of power between slave and free state would be undone. Well, let's look at the other ones. B. In 1850, when Texas was annexed, there was tension between Mexico and Great Britain.
No.
Who was the tension between?
Mexico and Texas.
So, Mexico and Great Britain? No. What role did Great Britain play?
They didn't want the U.S. to annex Texas.
Very good. So, Great Britain was on Mexico's side, right? So, there's not going to be tension between the two of them. C, there was not any tension between, that's really a poorly worded thing, over Texas being annexed by the U.S. Is that true? Was there any tension?
Yes.
Yeah, there was, and that led to the war. So that's completely false. There was tension between the U.S. only because the U.S. only wanted part of Texas, but did not want the western part due to the lack of resources.
No, it's not.
That's not even true. They wanted all of it. Why? What was that concept that you guys learned on Thursday? That started with an M. What was that concept, Malika? Manifest destiny. And if U.S. only wanted part of Texas, could the U.S. achieve manifest destiny?
No.
No. Okay? So this is our answer by default, but why? Okay? The balance of power between slave and free. We talked about that. Do you remember when we came up here and we had 2 people arguing? And then I added a person? And you guys all said that was unfair?
I count as 2 people. So
Okay? Was that is what we're talking about here being the balance of power between slave and free. Okay, do you remember that conversation we had? Okay, so does this make sense now?
Yes.
Victoria. Number 5. Which statement below is a good example of a domestic policy? Okay, this question has come up in all my classes, which is perfectly fine, but I do want to point out to you vocabulary. If you're not studying your vocabulary that we're doing, whether I test it directly or not, you're not going to understand the questions. Because is this question essentially testing your vocabulary knowledge?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm looking for an example of a domestic policy, okay? What is domestic policy? What does that mean? Connor?
How the policies inside the country.
I'm looking for things inside the country. Things, I can't spell country today. That's the third time I've not spelled country correctly. We're looking for things inside the country, okay? So, Houston, Jones, and Lamar all desired for Mexico to recognize Texas as an independent nation. Is this inside or outside?
Outside.
Jones desired to have public education available to all children regardless of social status. Inside or outside?
Inside.
Lamar wanted to gain recognition from other countries so that he could begin trading goods.
Outside.
Houston worked with the President of the U.S. to try to get Texas annexed.
Outside.
Our answer is B because public education is dealt with in inside the country. Okay, this is a domestic policy. This is within the borders of Texas. Now, is Jones the father of education?
No.
Was I asking for a true or correct statement in this question?
No.
What was the question asking?
Domestic policy.
Which is a domestic policy? Okay, I only wanted to know domestic policy. I was not looking for a true or a false statement. Now, I put that in here because the STAR test, they're going to do that. They're looking for the best right answer. That's what the STAR test is asking for. So I'm trying to get you used to that because by the time you get to 8th grade and have to take the 8th grade STAR test, this is going to be on it. The Mexican War and the Texas Revolution are part of the U.S. history. Okay? Donovan.
Are you ever going to put, like, it says good example, are you going to put a bad example?
No.
Okay.
Connor.
Number 4.
Hold on. Anybody else have questions about number 5? Okay, let's go up to number 4. Okay? Oops, too far down. Which of the following individuals is correctly matched with his or her significance? Okay? Chief Bowles helped the Cherokees negotiate a treaty with Sam Houston. Okay, so he's a Cherokee and he helped negotiate. Mary Maverick, video recorded memoirs.
She wrote that she wrote.
Okay, this has 2 parts, right? Video record, 1845, they don't even have that capability. Did she record her memoirs?
Yes.
Yes, she did, but how?
She wrote that.
Pen to paper, okay? So that's where I put that in there to see if you were making sure to read, okay? Video record didn't happen. Jose Antonio Navarro was a Hispanic leader who died at the Alamo. Was he a Hispanic leader?
Yes.
Yes. What was his significance, Renee? What was his significance? Hannah?
One of the only 3 Mexicans that signed the Constitution.
Declaration. The Declaration of Independence. Okay. William Goines. Okay. Was he a black man?
Yes.
Yes, he was a black man. Was he free or slaved?
He was free.
So the first word here, yeah, I'm not even going to read the rest because he wasn't a slave. He was a free black man, right? So which one of these has double checks on all of it?
A.
Chief Bowles. Abby.
Number 10.
10. Good question. Okay. Now, you're probably thinking, I did not teach you this. I did not directly teach you this question. You're correct. But all of the knowledge you have of what we've talked about the last 2 weeks, you have enough knowledge to answer this question. Okay? So why did the U.S. not, that's our key word here, not annex Texas in 1836, okay? When was Texas independent? 1836, okay? So our choices are to avoid trouble with Mexico. Why would there be trouble?
Because Mexico still recognized Texas.
Mexico, I'm going to put owns in like quotations like it owns Texas, okay? Because Americans did not think the area was worthwhile. We just talked about this, didn't we?
Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny. Because few Americans lived there. Okay, when did the Americans move to Texas? Under which ruling? The Impresarios. Okay? Under the Impresarios and Stephen F. Austin, that's when a lot of Americans moved. All of those people coming across to Texas during that time, they're from America. Okay? So, few Americans, yeah, not an option. Okay? D, to avoid having another free state enter the Union.
Texas was a slave state.
Texas was a slave state. So that's not even correct at all, right? So our answer is A. Okay. Theory. 1. Number 1. Which of the following is not a cause of the Mexican War? So what word do we need to circle? Not. Okay. So we're looking for not a cause. Mexico was refusing to acknowledge the annexation of Texas. That was a cause. That was a huge cause, right? Okay. The U.S. believed that the southern border of Texas ran along the Rio Grande. Was that a cause?
Yes.
What's the other half of this sentence that we could write? Mexico, what?
They thought the border was on the Nueces.
Mexico border at Nueces River. Okay? So, yep, that's true. That's true. That's a cause. Mexico and the U.S. were in discussion about the location of the southern border of Texas.
No, they didn't even have to.
Discussion. Did the U.S. try to have discussions with Mexico?
Yes.
Yes, they tried to send Slidell to Mexico as a delegate, and what did Mexico do?
They didn't even talk to
They said, yeah, we're refusing. Cross you out. Okay? So they tried discussions, but Mexico said no. General Taylor sent troops to set up a fort in the southern portion of Texas. Is this true? So which one is not a cause? C is our answer. Okay? Questions. Hannah? Number 2. Mexico has shed American blood on American soil. President Polk in 1846. In the quote above, what is he referring to? Is he referring to Manifest Destiny? Is he referring to Texas statehood? Mexican War?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Manifest Destiny is the spread of the U.S. from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. Does this have anything to do with that?
No.
Texas statehood was in 1845. See the dates? General Taylor's occupation of Texas. Well, I can see how you could argue that because the blood that was spilled was because of General Taylor's occupation of Texas. But does this quote refer only and directly to the occupation?
No.
It's how President Polk convinced Congress to start the Mexican War. Okay? Others. Hannah?
No, I have a question also. Why would he say that if he's the one who revoked it in the first place?
Who revoked what?
He provoked the Mexicans because he knew that they thought that the border.
That's how he provoked it.
I know, but why would he say that then if he knew that he provoked it?
Politicians.
Because that's how the politicians were able to get the war started. Because do you want American bloodshed on American soil?
No.
What happens to Americans when that occurs? We get really angry, right? Okay? So President Polk knew by saying that quote to the Congress that Congress would declare war. Okay? So, yes, General Taylor provoked it, President Polk provoked it, but he had to get Congress to approve it. Does that make sense? Are we good?